Hi friends, and welcome back to MIKMILL, and welcome to beautiful Todos Santos, Mexico. I have a 15-minute flow to share with you today, and it's catered to runners. However, if you're not a runner and you still want to join in this practice, we're going to be focusing on the lower body, so a lot of hip flexor work, quads, glutes, hamstrings, and it's going to feel really nice. If you'd like some music to flow with, I've made a playlist for you. I've linked it below. You'll hit play as soon as we hop on the mat together. And I will see you there. Alrighty, if you're gonna follow along to the playlist, we hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. And let's get started in a child's pose. So go ahead and come to hands and knees, and then wiggle your knees out about as wide as the mat. Bring your big toes to touch and sink your hips back to your heels. Reach your arms forward and let your forehead melt down onto your mat. Good, maybe your eyes want to close as you take 3 deep breaths into your body. Just really letting yourself arrive here into the present moment and into your practice. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Good, let's do another one together. And as you inhale, can you feel your back body expand, your rib cage opens? As you exhale, let the hips get a bit heavier towards your heels. Lovely. Now just lift your chest up a tiny bit and start to walk your arms and hands over and off the right side of the mat. Rest your left hand over top of the right, and then let your forearms drop heavy. Let your forehead rest down. Sending your breath directly into the left side line of your body. Feel that stretch, that beautiful opening all the way from your left elbow, down the outer edge of your shoulder, and through the rib cage towards your hip. Awesome. One more breath right here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Now just a little lift of your chest so that you can travel through center, over and off the left side of your mat. Right hand might rest over top of the left. Let your right forearm melt heavy and let your forehead rest down wherever it feels best. Start to guide your breath into the right side line of your body, especially in that area between the right side ribs and your right hip. Good. We'll take one more breath together. Inhale and exhale. Awesome. Now find your way back to center and come all the way up to a tabletop position, having your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Take a big inhale and drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. As you exhale, round through your spine and tuck your chin into chest. Just a bit of movement through the spine, through the torso. Inhale and exhale. Good. One more here, friends. Breathe in, belly lowers. Exhale, push the floor away and feel the space in the back line of your body. And come to a neutral tabletop. Go ahead and tuck your toes, lift your hips up, reach them all the way back, finding your first downward facing dog. And I want you to take a generous bend into your knees, lift your tailbone a little higher. Good, now start to pedal out your heels, but do it really slowly so you can feel that stretch and that openness in the back side of the legs, the hamstrings, the calf muscles, all those muscles that help you when you're running around. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Now gaze forward and start to walk towards the top of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Let your upper body hang heavy. You can bend your knees any amount, what feels best for you, but know that the more you bend your knees, sort of brings in this openness across the low back, and a little bit more of straight-legged variation is going to target the hamstrings. Just one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now lift up just halfway. Bring your hands to your shins. Create length in your spine. Breathe in. And as you exhale, forward fold, release. Plant your fingers on the mat and step your left leg all the way back. Bring your left knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes and rise up to a low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Good. Now I want you to intentionally lift up as tall as you can. Breathe in, and as you exhale, sink the hips down a few inches and forward. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale to lift up, 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 and exhale to sink the hips down. Good. Playing with activation and passive forms of energy here. So inhale, using a bit of strength to lift, opening up the front of the left hip, and exhale to sink down into it. Nice. 1 more breath. Good. Now bring your hands down to frame your front foot and start to send your hips back. They're going to stop directly over top of your left knee. Wiggle your right heel forward a couple more inches and flex your right foot. This is an active stretch. Okay, so think about your toes moving towards your face. Hello, hamstring on the right side. There it is. Let's breathe into it. Inhale and exhale. Good. 1 more breath. Let the shoulders soften. Nice. Now just start to walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. Spin your left ankle so it lines up with your knee. Left hand comes to the left side. Reach your right arm over to the left side, feeling a big opening in the front of the right hip, all the way down that side line of your body. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Now bring your hands down. Travel back to the top of the mat. Hands frame your right foot. Drag your heel in a little bit. Ground your foot. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. And just step the left foot up to meet the right, landing in your forward fold. Let your head go. Maybe shake it out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take a halfway lift as you inhale. Good. Really creating that length in the spine. Exhale and fold. Ground your fingertips and step your right leg all the way back. Bring your right knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes and rise up to your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Good. So active energy to start, right? You're pushing into that left foot, pushing into that right knee, reaching up as tall as you can. Inhale. As you exhale, start to sink the hips a few inches so it becomes passive. The weight of your hips and your body draw you down. Inhale to lift up. Good. And exhale to sink. 1 more. Inhale to lift. And exhale to sink. Can you hear the motorcycles in the background? We're in the back roads of Todos Santos, okay? Breathe in. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. I wish you were here practicing with me. Start to send your hips back and they stop right over top of your right knee. And then wiggle the left heel forward just a little bit more. Flex your left foot. Imagine you're drawing your toes back towards your face. And if your left knee needs a little bend into it, no problem at all. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Be patient with your body. Give it another breath in this pose, in this shape. And just start to walk your hands over towards your right leg. Spin your right ankle so it becomes in line with your hip. Right hand reaches over to the right side. Lift your left arm up and reaching it over to the right side. A big long line from fingertips to your left ankle. A beautiful stretch through that sideline body. Inhale and exhale. You got it. Now bring your hands down and start to travel back to the top of the mat. Hands frame your front foot. Drag your foot in a few inches. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, and step your right foot up to meet the left. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Shake out your head, wiggle out the shoulders. Now a tiny micro bend in your knees and roll all the way up. Stand up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold, bring it on down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left leg back, bring the left knee down to the mat once again, but this time your hands are going to be inside of the right foot. Heel toe your right foot to the outer edge of the mat, and then start to peel onto the outer edge of your right foot. Good. Turn your chest towards your right thigh, and think about pressing right hand into right thigh. Shoulders are down and back. Big breaths into that left hip flexor and the outer edge and the base of your right glute. If you feel like it today, you might put a bend into that left knee, maybe reach your hand back. Right hand is gonna hold on to the left foot. Just an option, okay? Only if it feels good. Otherwise, you can just have it down and even reach your right hand back for the back end of your mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, now bring your right hand back to center at the front of the mat. Heel toe your right foot back in line with your hip. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, keep the left hand down. Inhale, reach your right arm up and open. Find a nice big twist towards that right side. Inhale. And exhale. Nice, now right hand is gonna come down to frame the front foot and just slowly heel toe your right foot over to the left side of your mat. Carefully bring your right knee down, right shin comes down, left leg can stay long and you're landing in your pigeon pose. Equal weight into both hips. You can stay tall or you can always hinge forward and bring it down to your forearms. If this is not your vibe today and your body's asking for a different variation, feel free to come back up, lean over to that right hip, put a bend into the left knee, okay? So your hip bones are still facing forward in front of you, and then you can hinge forward from there. So it's just more like a grounded variation of a pigeon, a 90-90, if you will, with the legs. Sometimes it feels nice to have that right glute supported by the mat beneath you. Inhale. And exhale. Good, wherever you are, take one more intentional breath and don't rush it. Good job, good job. Now come all the way back up. If you're in that 90-90, try to send the left leg back, push into your hands, step the right leg back to meet the left, find your downward facing dog once again, and maybe a little bit of movement here would feel nice. Pedaling out the heels, shaking out the head. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Gaze forward, walk to the top of the mat, forward fold, head hangs for a moment. Little micro bend in the knees and roll all the way up, reach up, gaze goes up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, melt it down, good. Nice and fluid with your movement. Halfway lift as you breathe in, hands to shins, reaching the crown of the head forward. Exhale, plant the hands and step your right leg all the way back. Bring your right knee down again for that low lunge, but just a different variation. So your hands come inside of the left foot, heel toe your left foot to the outer edge of the mat, and then come onto the outer edge of the left foot. So your left leg opens out slightly to the left side, kind of like a page of a book. Good. Start to open your chest towards that left thigh. Left hand can rest on the thigh. Breathe. Really use the support of your right hand to lift out of that right shoulder. Notice if you're sinking down into it. Okay, we want to find some support for the body. Big breaths into that right hip flexor and into the base of that left glute. You might start to put a bend into that right knee if you wish, a twisted monkey lunge variation, or you can always just have that left arm reaching back, right leg can be down. Good, breathe in and breathe out. Left hand's gonna come back forward and then heel toe your left foot back in line with your hip. Hands frame your foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Right hand stays down. Inhale, peel the left arm up and open. A beautiful twist, big reach to the left side. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, left hand comes down. Slowly start to heel toe the left foot over to the right side edge of the mat. Ground your left knee and your left shin down. Wiggle the right leg back. Maybe hanging out in this pigeon pose with a tall spine. Maybe hinging forward, coming down to your forearms. Or again, you have that option of a 90-90. Lean to the left hip. Put a bend into your right knee so both knees are bent and you'd hinge forward over top of that left shin. If you can, close your eyes, soften the face, wiggle out your jaw, let everything melt down. Big inhale, big exhale. One more breath right here. Amazing. Come all the way back up. Come over onto your left hip wherever you are and bring your legs out in front of you. Hold on behind your knees, round your spine, roll all the way down to your back. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice little rock side to side. Deep breath in and a full breath out. Good, now bring your feet down to the mat. Open your arms out wide to a T shape and heel toe your feet out as wide as the mat. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop your knees to the right side and shift your gaze left. Option to stay right here, or maybe the right ankle rests on top of the left thigh, just above the knee, and the weight from your right ankle is maybe going to bring in a bit more of a stretch to that left quad and left hip flexor. Good. We'll stay right in this posture for another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. If your right ankle is on your left thigh, gently wiggle it off. Slowly bring your knees and your gaze to center. Breathe in. Drop your knees to the left side and shift your gaze to the right. And again, if you want that other variation, your left ankle is going to rest just on top of your right thigh, above your right knee, only if it feels good for you. 2 deep breaths. And a big exhale out. Good. One more here. Breathe in deeply. And exhale fully. If your ankle is on your thigh, gently wiggle it off. Guide your legs and your gaze back to center. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little rock side to side. Good. Maybe a big hug, big squeeze might feel nice to bring your forehead right up towards your knees, rounding your spine. Maybe drop head and shoulders down again, and you can stay right here as long as you'd like, my friends. Whenever you feel ready to finish off your practice, you're more than welcome to. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that practice and that movement. I hope your body's feeling nice, and I can't wait to see you again.